When I was a kid, family meant everything to me. We used to have get-togethers all the time, and I'd look around and there'd be uncles and aunts and cousins all playing and talking and chatting and having a really good time. And it's one of the things I miss as I've gotten older. But it doesn't seem to me as though it was just our family. It seemed to be at that time that so many families had that getting together of it. And now we rarely see them. My dad was the focal point of his side of the family. His brother and sisters often came to visit. We'd have times when they'd just turn up out of the blue and they'd stop for a few days, and it would be great for me. Because for me, my cousins, my first cousins, were kind of like my best friends when I was little. They were the first friends that I had because we as a family were so close together. On my mum's side of the family, although we lived in Somerset at the time, they lived in Norfolk, so it was a hell of a drive. But even so, they'd come down and visit, and we'd go and visit them, and we had such a good time. But what I noticed over time is that our parents were the glue that kept us all together. I don't know about you, but it seems today we have less time for family as such. It shouldn't be that way. I'm very lucky that our family was quite close. A few years ago, my aunt died, and I can remember at the funeral, someone brought a TV and they were showing family cine films from way back in time. And I stood in a corner of the room and looked around the room, and my Aunt Sheila, who's 86 now, 87, something like that, was sat watching these cine films. My sister was beside her, and a couple of my cousins were sitting around watching it. And they were laughing about all the good times that we all had when we were young. I looked around the room and my cousins were chatting to each other, and their children were chatting to each other. It was still a close family, it still is. But something seems to have changed over the years. And I was having a conversation yesterday with Debs about it. And it struck me, probably for the first time, the reason why we're not close as a family anymore. And I think it may be the case for you as well. When I was young, not many of our family had phones. My dad did, and my Uncle Henry did. But they were both settled down the seaside with arcades and things. The rest of our family was travelling on fares, and so they didn't have a phone. On my mum's side, obviously, we were settled down the coast, and her two brothers were settled down the coast with arcades too, but they were in Norfolk. And so they would be able to talk. The brothers and the sisters that weren't on the phone, we used to turn up on the door to come and see us. It was great. And we had such good times. But what happened around, I don't know, 1986, 1987 is that most of us started getting phones. I had one put in at home before my eldest son was born. And then a few years later, we got mobile phones we could take everywhere. And now everybody could contact each other. And so that's what we did. We used our phones and we were phoning everybody up. I'm still close to my cousins. We just don't see each other anymore. And of course, then we had email. Now we've got messaging, video calls. You can text. There's so many ways for everyone to get in touch today. And yet, I feel a hunger for connection like we used to have. I feel that has kind of drifted away. About 6 years ago, we had a family reunion on my dad's side, and it was brilliant. It was lovely. We had 4 generations in the room, and it surprised me is how well we all still get on. How well, when we're together, how we're drawn to each other. And yet that doesn't happen in real life. And I did wonder as well if it's not only the fact that we can communicate so easily these days that we don't, but there are some other things that have changed our lives in a way that have affected what we can do and what we didn't. Now, of course, today we're all so busy. I think we work harder today than we did back then. I say that knowing full well that we used to open an arcade at 7 in the morning and not 9 in the morning, and not shut it till 11 at night. The fact is, we do work harder as the generations go down. My family, we're all doing different things. We were once all in the same trade. I talked about it to Debs. They once all lived in the same town, all her family. And so it seemed to be easier than it is now. We all have different lives. We're in different life stages, I suppose. And along the way, for my family in particular, as we've all diversified away from the one business that we were all involved in, now my cousins do different things. I don't understand their industries. They don't understand mine. And so that also has brought that drift about. And I suppose the other thing is that we don't make the effort anymore. I was talking about this to one of my cousins on the phone a couple of weeks ago, and we were both decrying that we don't see each other enough. We don't have the times that we used to have. We sit and we talk and we go on the phone and it'll be one of those, do you remember when? And we do that very often. The difference between us and our parents is that they made the effort and we kind of don't. And that's a sad indictment of the times that we don't make the effort. But I don't know about you. I miss that. I miss what we had. My family, I'm very lucky. We still get on very well. I get round to visiting one of them at a time, probably once a year, but we never really see each other as a group. I wish we did. And perhaps if you're feeling the same, then you probably are very much like me, a need to step up and pull it all back together. Because in my family anyway, we were so lucky. I had uncles and aunts that tormented the living daylights out of me when I was young. It's a precious, precious thing having a family. And I only wish that we got round to spending more time with them. That's all I've got to say today. It's a bit bittersweet because I smile when I think of my family. I smile with the times when we used to get together, the things that used to happen, and I miss that. Perhaps it's getting old, I don't know. How is it for you? Are you fortunate enough to be near your family? I no longer have any family within maybe 100 miles of where I live. How about you? Do you still get together as a group? Do you still celebrate as a family? Or do you just not like each other? That, of course, is a case. Because as we grow and we go different ways, that can happen too. It's a funny one, isn't it? But when did it stop for you? When was it that your family stopped getting together and become a single solo unit? Because I think families together was a much, much better thing, a much better support system than what we have now. Makes you think, doesn't it? I'll see you next time.